Hey everyone, hopefully you can all hear me. Let me just do a bit of a sound check. Let's see if everyone can hear. Maybe we can just get some comments. Okay, seems like everyone can hear, so that's positive. Let me just wait a few more minutes. Okay guys, I'm just checking that we have working audio and everyone can hear us okay. Just give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. I've had the okay. So you can hear me loud and clear. Well, welcome everyone to the inaugural TDeFi live event. We're coming live from Dubai, London, and New York. We have a 4-day event. We have an incredible lineup of pitches for those of you that are interested. Then there's going to be a number of different sessions. We're also going to be streaming this on a number of different channels. I'll give you some more details of that in a moment. But yeah, we have a really big lineup coming, some very well-known projects in the space. So we're really looking forward to doing that. So I just want to kind of quickly let you know that you can get more details on our different social media platforms. You can go to TradeDog, TDeFi on Telegram. You can also go on YouTube and also on Twitter. Really important that you try and go to YouTube and Twitter and put the alerts on so you can pick up when every new event or pitch or AMA is going to be going live, to keep up to date. And I don't know if the guys can show kind of today's schedule briefly so we can kind of see what's coming up. Let's see if we can bring that up for everyone rather than just looking at me. Just bear with me 1 second. Just waiting for some of my my presenters to turn up too. So it won't just be me. We've got the well-known Ohei Mati coming along, and he will be providing his insights, talking about all the different types of projects that are hitting the space right now. Hopefully we'll have a number of guest speakers too that will come along and kind of give us their opinion about what's happening in the space, what they've been up to, and start getting a much kind of in-depth kind of feel around what the space has been up to recently. Obviously, DeFi has kind of taken us all by storm. It's been quite the year in terms of decentralized cryptocurrencies and blockchain developments. Obviously, with the likes of Yearn and other Uniswap coming into its own. So it's been quite the year. We all feel 2021 is going to be even greater in terms of all types of developments within technology and also adoption. So we're super excited about that. First up today, we have Gather Network. We got Reggie, the CEO there, super interested, exciting. I believe he's actually in Ground Zero in Dubai live. And so that should be coming on with the other mentors from live from Dubai, Presidential Suite. That will be coming on in around, looking at the time, around 24 minutes, guys. So not long to wait now. And yeah, exciting stuff. Let me see what else we've got. We've got Gather Network first. I believe Reggie's going to stay with us for a little while as well, hopefully for that full session. It's going to be about 2 hours long. We also have a pitch introduction by Oro Pocket. They're a project that TDeFi had some incubation with, and they've had a great start to their life. Did a fantastic effort in listing, and we're certainly very interested in looking into what they have in store for the future. Here's my my partner in crime. Hey, Matt, he's joined. You want to say hi, Matt?
Hey, how you doing? Just getting set up here.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm just going through a quick intro of today's events, Matt. So that should be on. So we're, just to confuse you guys, we're doing everything in Dubai time. So just to clarify, so we're live. Matty's coming live from New York. I'm coming in from London, and we have the mentors and some live pitches happening live from Dubai. So in terms of time zones, just for everyone's kind of knowledge and just for planning, we're at all the timing is at UTC +4, which is Dubai time. So if you're from Europe, I'm calling from UTC, which is London. So Europe is an hour ahead of me. So that would be 3 hours behind Dubai. And Matt's calling in from New York time. Matt, what time is it with you now?
It's about 9 a.m. here.
Okay, so that's EST. So Matt's EST for anyone from the US. And then I'm going to be in on the UTC time, and then Dubai is where all of the scheduling times on all social media platforms, that's what those times are, to save any confusion. So when we mention times, we're going to be mentioning Dubai time. Okay, so we're going through kind of just a bit of an intro today. Matt can take over in a minute. Sorry, in the next sort of 20 minutes, building up to the pitch by Gather Network. And I believe, Matt, he's live in Dubai.
Yeah, I believe he's coming up the elevator right now, or he may already be there. They're probably setting everything up in the studio.
Perfect. So that'll be
Reggie.
And is Reggie staying on for the whole session, Matt?
I'm gonna assume so. You know, he's pretty amped for the event today.
Nice, great. So then once we get kind of an introduction from Reggie, then we're going to have a pitch, as I mentioned before, by Oro Pockets. I was mentioning before you jumped on, Matt, that they've had a really good start to kind of their life, if you like. Did fantastic in the aftermarket post listing, and yeah, we're really excited to hear more about what they have in store for us.
Yeah, they definitely did good out the gates. I think 10 to 20x somewhere in that market. Definitely a unique idea in terms of tapping into the gold and silver market and converting it over to crypto. So I'm excited to hear what they have to say today.
Yeah, absolutely. I had some interactions personally with the team there, particularly with Mohit, the CEO, and coming from a traditional investment background myself, and being somewhat of a gold bug at certain times. Certainly traditional assets and things like that are really fascinating to see how we kind of adopt them into, the crypto industry. So I'd be interested to hear more about that. So that's going to be happening straight after, and that's at 6:45 Dubai time, guys. And then followed by that, we have a pitch by Inblocks Me, and I believe, Matt, these were one of the projects that actually signed up for the event to potentially be taken on as an incubation project. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think them and Font Community, which is right afterwards, are both petitioning to be part of the TDeFi second accelerator. We just had closed out the first accelerator. You can find that on our website at tde.fi. That's tde.fi. The first cohort is doing amazing, obviously, with Oro Pocket and XBTC. XBTC with 3x, Oro Pocket 10x plus. Now we're looking forward to DeFin We took on a post-sale project called Pop Network, and we're going to be announcing our 5th and final project who will be pitching on the demo day, and that's CashFi. So this will be the start with Gather and maybe one of these new projects that are coming on board to pitch for the second cohort of the incubator. So we're super excited. I don't know much about these new projects because there's not a lot of info online since they're so early. But we're going to be bringing a premiere look at those projects here on the TDeFi Virtual Summit and live event in Dubai.
Yeah, sounds great. And Font are kind of an NFT as well, so that should be quite interesting. I know there's been quite a buzz this year about NFTs. So yeah, I don't know if you have any specific thoughts about NFTs and where they might go, but it'll be interesting to see what they have to say.
Yeah, I mean, in regards to NFTs, you know how I feel about that, David. I think it's a super exciting space. I think value is in the eye of the beholder. There's a lot of saturation right now in NFTs, mainly because, you know, they're not really tapping into the use case specifically. It's a lot of the same stuff with like community building and mining, or like yield farming to get NFTs. I think the NFT structure is really fleshed out right now in terms of rareables and in terms of open seas and being able to transact NFTs between each other. Where I really see the true value coming out of NFTs is going to be on, you know, who's going to be the mainstream platform for NFTs moving forward. Is Rareable's going to take that market share? If they ever do, if them or OpenSeas ever do a token sale or equity sale, you know, I'll be aggressively trying to get into that. But other than that, I think that we need to flesh out new use cases, and whoever kind of trailblazes that space is going to be in an exciting portion. What about your thoughts, David?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're in that phase where you know, pretty much everyone's looking for the next big thing, and with this market, it moves so fast. I definitely like that kind of merging between traditional art and obviously, you know, we talked about Oro Pockets in terms of how they're fitting into the space as being a kind of a tangible asset linked with crypto, and you know, anything that has like a physical structure to it. Obviously, art is something that traditionally we've loved as a kind of a, if you like, society. But it's not that practical in terms of being able to move it around and show it off to people. So as we're moving more into this kind of digital age, obviously NFTs and anything that has any type of scarcity is really taking off. So I'm super excited about how this might kind of evolve. We've sort of seen that first emergence of, if you like, excitement around it. And I guess like any new kind of market or sector, you know, kind of get that kind of fast moving and kind of movement, and then maybe it dies down, settles, and then we find that kind of secondary market move. So yeah, I think for me, 2021 will be interesting to see how we kind of evolve that and start seeing some more tangible value against those types of NFTs and collectibles and stuff, for sure.
Yeah, I think one of the things you hit right on the head when it comes to NFTs is basically, you know, art it doesn't devalue itself, but it becomes aged over time. It's very difficult to move, it deteriorates. NFTs kind of solve that issue, but it still doesn't give you that physical feel. So it's really still for a niche collector.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the good thing about it, it's such a niche thing. You're gonna have certain people that come into the space, obviously, and they can kind of really drive it in terms of a passion play. And as we know, crypto is such a small market still. It doesn't take much of people coming to the space to make a real difference. So I'm super interested to see how that kind of evolves over the next 12 months. So, okay, let's just go back to the schedule slightly. Again, we have a couple of pitches. Inblocks Me, we've just talked about, pitch by Font Community, which is the NFT. Then we have another pitch by Finks Flow. That's a cool name. So I'm certainly interested to see what they have to say for themselves. Again, I think there were another applicant, Matt. I don't know if you know much too much. Sorry, I don't know if you know too much about them.
No, I believe they were a small late ad, so I haven't had the opportunity to see what they're about. And I'm setting up the apparently my Zoom isn't able to record on the OBS, so I'm trying to set that up for the other YouTube channel.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so let's just see. We have 48 people live watching, so that's pretty cool.
But yeah, tell them how to. Yeah, I'll cover this part. So it's kind of going to be a little bit of a unique experience today. So if there's any questions in regards to the project, we'll have moderators in the chat that'll kind of direct you how to submit those questions. So we want to get kind of a buzz going over on Twitter. So we're basically going to tag the project. We're going to tag TDeFi. We're going to do hashtag TDeFi, hashtag TDeFi demo day. Those will be the two trends that we try and push as we promote this larger ecosystem of fantastic DeFi projects over the next 4 days. The event's going to be from December 2nd to December 5th, starting at roughly 9 a.m. Every morning. So it'll be 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard. I know we have a lot of people from Dubai and from India and from Europe all around the world watching the event today. So obviously UTC will be 5 hours later than that. So that would be roughly about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 2 p.m. UTC. And I'm going to butcher those probably for the next 4 days, David. But yeah, so it's going to be a pretty cool event. There's a lot of different presentations and AMAs and panels and discussions. On the final day, we'll be having the demo day where we'll be having some of the larger tier projects come on board. I think day 2 is also really exciting. I mean, they're all exciting. There's plenty of fantastic projects, some small, some large, some pitching for the accelerator, some already existing or coming out soon. Did you want to go over maybe the larger list, or do you think we're good with just today's and we can cover tomorrow?
Hey, why don't we just skip over just briefly some of the projects over the next few days, and because we got kind of 10 minutes to kill, so now we've mentioned it.
Yeah, I'll just go through it really quickly. So I think you were kind of finishing up on today. So we have 3. I'll just go through each day. So today's pretty cool. We have the opening remarks today. We have Gather Network coming up next. They'll be doing their pitch live from Dubai. Oro Pocket, which is the flagship project for TDeFi. We have 3 projects that are pitching to be a part of TDeFi. That's Inblocks, Me, Font Community, and Things Flow. I think there's a 4th one with Loon Finance. Now there is a someone's calling me. There is a final project at the end of today, which I'm pretty happy with, coming out of Magnus Advisory. That's Yacht Finance. That'll be with an old buddy of mine. Tomorrow we'll be starting out with 2 projects that are pitching for TDeFi. That'll be Antonio Foundation and Seraphim. Sorry if I mispronounced that. And then we have a pretty big, bulky chunk of presentations and AMAs, 30-minute time slots. So there's going to be Unilend. Finance.vote is rescheduling to Friday, so I'll be talking about that in a second. Refinance, which is another big name. Simone Martin, which is one of our mentors for compliance. She has 20 years experience in BVI financials, which when I was looking at her resume the other day, just catching up on some of the stuff we'd be discussing today, I thought that was pretty impressive, David. Yeah, sure. CyberFi, Manifold, and Bahadler. I'm really excited for that backend 3. Bahadler's out of degen.vc. They're basically launching this like dual token called I in Scarcity. They've been in building phase for a little bit now. I think the tokens are out already. I'm one of the top 10 holders of that token as well for Scarcity, full disclosure. CyberFi is going to be, what's that?
Gentle plug.
Gentle plug for my bags. CyberFi, I was an investor into their sale. That was really good. It went over 10x. They're doing amazing things in terms of just being able to do smart limit orders, being able to have stop losses for liquidity providers, which is a direct need to lower friction in DeFi with these use cases. Manifold's going to be pretty cool as well. That's going to be a really amazing project that probably people are going to want to tune in for. December 4th, we're going through a bunch of cool projects that are pitching. We have Picking Right. We have one of our cohort projects, XBTC, which did an amazing 3x plus rebase stuff, and they're holding their price for Bitcoin dominance very well. We have David's pet project, Kylan Network, Royal Finance, which is in the raise phase right now, which is backed by people like Bontra DAO, and a few other amazing projects like PokeStarter. We have Plot X, which is an Indian-based project. We got DeFi Pi, Terra Virtua, which is a big name right now on the hot sheets that are being circled around by Crypto Differ. We have Pepemon from kind of like a community coin. And then on our demo day, It looks like, oh yeah, also I think we're going to be moving the finance.vote to the end time slot there for December 4th. Okay. And December 5th is going to be pretty awesome. We have HXRO, which is a vanilla options platform, about 50 million market cap connected with FTX. We have the final and most exciting TDeFi cohort project with CashFi. We're actually going to have, I think this is pretty amazing because I haven't seen them anywhere. We're going to have PokeSwap and Sora on. We're having the CEO of Sora, which is the ecosystem that PokeSwap is launching on. We're going to have them on for a 30-minute presentation in AMA and get some great questions from them. And then we'll be finalizing the demo day, unless any other projects add on, with our next cohort project from TDeFi, which is DFIN, DFYN. And I'm still in talks with a few other projects about filling maybe some of the final time slots on those final 2 days. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting 4 days. I think we have Gaurav with us. Is he ready to speak?
Yeah, just before he comes in, because he's going to be coming live from Dubai and probably do a quick tour. But if you're logging in on the TDeFi website, just notice on the event schedule that kind of there's some missing events there. So maybe we need to update that later today, because as you were going through that list, Matt, and obviously we have our internal list. There's a few missing from there, so I just want to make that sure, just to be clear, so anyone's logging in, they're not getting confused. But yeah, we'll update that and come back to you guys. Yeah, I mean, overall, just before we move over to Gaurav from Dubai, I think it's a action-packed, really exciting schedule for the next 3-4 days, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, the guys dialing into watch this will be too. And obviously, we've got a few pet projects ourselves as investors, but ultimately, I'm super excited about some of these new projects that we don't know too much about. So I don't know if we should move over to Gaurav. He seems to be live in Dubai. We're kind of literally minutes away from starting this whole event. So if he's there, maybe we can go over to him and he can kind of take over and kind of maybe give us a kind of a update on the live Dubai situation.
I don't think he's ready.
Nah, typical.
Yeah, that's actually a photo. That's not actually. There he goes.
Hey, Gaurav, welcome live from Dubai. How's it going?
Hey, it's amazing. We have Gather Network here, and they'll start pitching themselves to the world, to TDeFi in probably 6 minutes as per schedule. In the meantime, I would request you guys to give people an idea of what Gather Network is. It's not a traditional project that people think would apply to an accelerator, because people think, especially in cryptos, accelerators mean to build up a project from an idea to a white paper and then probably just the raise, and that is where people step out. Gather Network is a good example to begin with, where established network, established product with revenues in, with really big clients, at least call them Fortune 5 of India and other parts of the world, like really big conglomerates, enterprises, as their clients paying them, and they're doing 6 figures revenue per quarter, maybe less. I am slightly bad with numbers. The guy just gave me a look that told me that it's not the right number. Probably less-ish? 5? Okay, yeah, let's go with less-ish. So you guys take over for a bit, and we'll set up the screens, we'll set up the pitch, and we'll join you in probably 4 minutes for whatever is left from the schedule. Yeah?
Sounds good. But you look pretty swish there, Gaurav, with your jacket. It's not often we see you like that, but you're even in the same color scheme there with the surroundings as well. So good for you.
Oh man, yeah, you got to be very red, sir. It's very Brit and classy. So I mean, I thought of changing myself a bit. I learned that I'm not this person. Of course, a lot of you would know, but when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Love it, love it. Okay, perfect. Well, we'll come back to you in about 4 minutes and get yourself set up, and we'll come back to you.
I'll be waiting.
Perfect. Oh, great. There we go, guys. So there's some details just come up on screen. If you're looking to find out where we are, you
It
can,
went well.
you can
I just don't know how it looked. So
Gaurav,
that
mute
brings
yourself,
in.
Gaurav, mute. So yeah, just having a look, guys. There's some information in terms of where you can find us. Please join in on the live feed. We have access for comments as well as we go through these different sessions. So I think that was a good point that Gaurav brought up. We fundamentally are an accelerator or an incubator, which will look to support projects from pretty much ideation all the way through to listing, and then way after that in terms of future development and integration, partnerships, strategic, and possibly even future investments too. But part of the building an ecosystem of value is also partnering with strategic projects that have already kind of been there and done that, and they're looking to be part of a cohort of other projects to network, to bring mutual value to each other. And so Gather is a perfect example of that. A well-established company, well past its raising period. They're now generating revenues, which is the ideal and all future aspiration of every fledgling project. And so the whole, if you like, concept and value proposition of TDeFi is to bring our networks, bring our experiences, and all of the cohorts within our ecosystem together for mutual value and gain. And that's really a big point of this event. It's not just about a highlight of new projects, although that's a core part of this, but it's also to bring all of these ecosystem partners together and support each other and build that kind of real big community of providing value for each other. And that's, I think, the core of what we are really about, and the value proposition, and that's what we're most excited about. So you'll kind of see that this event the next 3-4 days, and hopefully we'll get a lot more idea around some of these other projects and how they fit into this ecosystem. And as Matt was alluding to earlier, we've had a huge amount of interest from projects not only looking to be incubated, but also from projects that are well established along that, if you like, line, or that kind of scale of development, whether they're just recently listed or whether they've been in the ecosystem for a number of years, and they're all keen to be part of this ecosystem, because where there is many, there is value, and that's really what this is all about. So I don't know if Matt, if you want to have a quick, are you still there, Matt?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just setting up the full live stream over on my channel, and I think Atik was calling me at some point, but
oh, no worries. Okay, so we haven't got long, but you obviously know, I think you know Reggie fairly well, and you're familiar with Gather. Do you want to give us a quick minute kind of synopsis of the kind of overriding summary of Gather and what you know of them before we go back to Dubai?
Sure. Yeah, so I've known Reggie for a few years. I think we go back to Dream Team, which is one of the OG crypto chats from 2017. Shout out to my boys at Dream Team. King Nick will probably be watching at some point today. I'm assuming. I know he watches the channel a lot. I think Nick as well, who was one of the part owners of Dream Team after coming on board shortly afterwards, original owner Quinn. But yeah, I mean, Gather Network is pretty cool. They just recently launched, I think, within the last 30 to 60 days. I think when I was originally pitched Gather, it was kind of like this like website mining play, but they've definitely evolved to a lot of different things. So if you go to their website, you'll see that their tagline is that they're a platform that allows publishers to monetize without ads and provide business and developer access to cheap and reliable power. Their main solution comes in like this 3 scalable network. So they have Gather Online, Gather Enterprise, and Gather Cloud. And I'm working with Reggie right now to bring on integration partners in terms of proposals that they can make to exciting projects, some of which you'll be seeing here over the next few days. But the Gather Online is this like scalable and predictable revenue. They essentially allow web and mobile developers to monetize from an end user processing power. I think the most exciting portion of this, and I won't bury the lead with them, is that it's very easy to integrate. It's not cumbersome on the web developers themselves, and you can have an easy integration plugin, and people can make money and promote the ecosystem all around. They do have a reliable consultancy service and affordable processing power. So I would definitely recommend going to their website and looking at the different benefits. Their Medium article, they have some decent investors behind them and a lot of different partners, and one of them including Chromia and Dia. They've been definitely doing a lot of work out in the streets. So check them out at gather.network.
Yeah, cool. And just a quick one, they offer staking rewards as well, which obviously is a big thing here at the moment. You know, a lot of people are kind of looking for value for holding, and so I guess with something like that, you know, that's an add value too.
For sure, absolutely.
So let's see, guys. We should be in a position to go live any minute. We're just waiting for, I guess, just the final touches to happen over in Dubai, and then we should be able to go straight over to the guys in the presidential suite, and then we can get the kind of the event underway, so to speak. Maybe just a quick shout out, Matt. Is there any other places people can kind of watch this event? I know you mentioned you were setting up on your YouTube channel. Is that live now, or?
Yeah, so I can't mute both my mics at the same time. Yeah, so there is 2 places that you can watch the event right now. The first place is going to be on the Trade Dog website. Now, it's a little bit different than a normal event in the sense that we're going to be jumping from video to video. So this is the summit day 1. I think this video ends as soon as Gather Network comes online. So then we'll be hopping over to the new Gather event. So make sure that you're following Trade Dog on Twitter. Make sure you're following us on, or at least my announcements channel, because I'll be posting out the links there. If you don't feel like jumping from video to video, I'm live streaming over on my YouTube as a restream of the event, and you can watch the entire thing from session to session. So each session will be about 2 to 2.5 hours long. I think we have Gaurav with us for the presentation.
All right.
So let's hop over to him because I think we're 3 minutes behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
How's the feed, guys? Because I think somebody's sharing already. We need to put down the live banner.
If the tech team could stop sharing the Gather Network and go to Gora on the Zoom.
Okay, while we're just waiting for that to happen.
Guys.
Who's controlling the Zoom side? I'll tell them in chat. There we go.
Okay.
All right, should be good to go, Goro.
Yeah.
Good to go?
Let's go.
So we need to put down the existing play on the screen so that we can share.
Is this Reggie's pitch or is this some sort of promo that they're running? Okay, there we go. Hey, Reggie.
We still need the share permissions.
Perfect.
If you may, please.
You're live, guys. You're now full front and center. Nice to meet you both there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Here we are.
Okay, perfect. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Can you guys see?
We can see you perfectly. We've got your pitch up now. So Over to you guys.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I think we're getting feedback from somewhere. I think you need to mute your
Mike.
Yeah, your mic.
How's that? Better?
Amazing.
Awesome. Sorry, I think we had a little bit of technical difficulties getting set up. It's a little strange seeing yourself in the camera, but yeah. Thank you first off, guys, for organizing this amazing event. Honored that we're the first pitch of the first day as well, and really looking forward to talking to everyone about Gather.
Yeah, awesome. Definitely amazing to have you here. Looking forward to the presentation.
For sure. Just let me know when I should kick off. You are waiting for anything?
I think you're good to go.
Awesome. So I'll start with the first slide then. There we go. So in today's day and world, advertising is the main monetization method for most websites and applications. And as most people know or should know, advertising has a myriad of problems associated with, from data breaches, it's unethical, it's intrusive. I mean, just giving you an example, when you go to, let's say, Daily Mail or something, you'll probably see more ads than you will content. No one likes ads. That's just a given. It's a broken model. It's not for 2021 and forward. A new method of monetizing websites and applications is needed. Then the cost of cloud computing is exponential. If you look at just what AWS is doing and in terms of their revenue and how expensive it is, it's ginormous. Specifically, it's worth $300 billion in total addressable market size. And that's just growing year on year. Ask any tech startup, one of their biggest overheads will be cloud if they're using public cloud infrastructure. That's not getting cheaper at all. And another thing is, when in terms of blockchain and cryptocurrency, there's a limited amount of POW miners, or proof of work miners, that exist in the crypto sphere, if you will, right? So what's the solution to these three problems that I just spoke about? It's Gather, right? Gather is a platform that allows publishers an alternative form of monetization. It allows enterprises a cheaper form of cloud computing, enterprises and developers a cheaper form of cloud computing, while giving blockchain developers and enterprises a easy way to deploy blockchains without having to source POW miners, right? What exactly is Gather as a product? It's a multi-layered network. So you see a layer 2, a layer 0, and a layer 1. Layer 0 being where you have the hardware layer, if you will, where you have, if just talking about a flow, when someone visits a website or an application that's using Gather to monetize, right, you're going to see this little disclaimer at the bottom. When you opt in, you're opting in to share your processing power with the network. This processing power is then taken and resold on in this marketplace model to enterprises and businesses for the various use cases I spoke about. For example, cheaper form of cloud computing and securing the Gather network and these other blockchains that are tied to the Gather network as well as child chains, right? So in terms of a few numbers, as stated there, that Gather as a platform is 1.4x more profitable than ads using average standard metrics and 30% cheaper than GCE. Very simple. You visit a website or application, you're going to agree with the terms of service, or you're going to opt in, provide consent. Gather is a consent-driven product specifically. And then your processing power will be used. There's no negative impact. It's the same usage as viewing, let's say, a flash ad or a very simple video ad, right? In terms of traction, our go live revenue is $354,000 per month. And we already have quite a few major clients signed on board with us. The one you can see above is an oil and gas company based out of India, a 4 billion mega corporation that's in every stream you could imagine, based out of India again. And the bottom right, you can see some of our recent clients and partnerships as well. Along with current conversations that have happened is with one of the world's largest streaming platforms, I would say top 5 right now, again, based out of India. And we recently signed on with a pass, or rather they provide the streaming infrastructure for anyone to become their own content creator. Yeah. So Gather is not new. We didn't start during this wave of summer 2020 or the mini alt season or mini bull run, if you will. We started in 2018 where we had a seed round, actually. We kept building. We were supposed to do a ICO in 2018. but it didn't end up working out through the bear market. So we self-funded with $200,000 worth of life savings and kept building, hired more people, expanded the team, and pivoted the model to what you see what it is right now. We recently closed our private sale in September of this year, backed by institutional capital and the community as well, raising $960,000. And now we're on the road to the mainnet. Oh, that's something happened with the pitch deck there, but okay. So I'll talk about. Yeah, talk about our team a little bit. So we have varied professionals from different spans. So my career, I started in oil and gas, working in North Iraq, managing 2 bases in Basra and Erbil, while also looking after Indian operations for an oil and gas company. Then moved into advertising, working with MSL Group and Publicis Group. Our co-founder Farouk, he's pure play, a financial background, working with KPMG, Grant and Thornton, and then left them to become a full-time crypto trader. Ayan, our CMO, has about 9 years of marketing experience working with a company called Nexians, and has also got extensive experience with masternode-based blockchains as well. Udit, our COO, he's a pure startup guy. At the end of the day, in my eyes at least, building a new project, building a new business, it is a startup first that turns into a business. So having someone who has startup knowledge, metrics, et cetera, is very, very key. And I think one of the most key figures is our CTO, Ashish. She has about 20 years of experience working with companies like NCR, Goldridge, Capgemini. He managed the cloud operations for NCR in Atlanta for, I think, 9 years, leading the Center of Excellence as well. So very accomplished cloud professional. And our general counsel as well, who's an SEC specialist and security specialist. Now moving on to our advisory board. Over here it looks good for some reason. So our advisory board is just as powerful because what is a team without a good advisors, right? So I'll start with Vic. Vic has worked, experienced technologist, working with companies like Oprah, Status, as a crypto company, and been in the space for a long time. He's more on the blockchain side of things, if you will. Narendra Nag, he was the vice president of Publicis Group out of India and Singapore as well, leading MSL Group, 20 years in marketing communications, was also a very prominent journalist in India as well. Patrick, our financial advisor, been CFO of multiple companies, really understands how to build models, financial models, and let's say regulations, and the niches involved with finances and regulations within cryptocurrency and the kind of space we work in as well. And then below, I like to refer to them as our crypto strategy team. Charles Reed, Johnny Kim, and Bradley Townsend. They work on multiple projects. Bradley and Charles are also from Rare Stone Capital, and John Kim is the CSO of Lux, and they've been with us for quite some time. And just a basic executive summary here for everyone to see. Just what I mentioned earlier on, we're a product. We're a company that's trying to go after a very large markets, the advertising market or monetization market, if you will, the cloud computing market, with an experienced team coming with institutional capital, with access to contracts, letter of engagement signed with blue chips, Fortune 500s, and we're just looking to ram ahead, if you will. We made some mock-ups as well for some of the audience to see what, if you came to a website. We actually made it for TradeDog and TDeFi, right? So I'll just share those. So let's say TDeFi or TradeDog actually use Gather to monetize. This is what it would look like if you came here. I don't think you can see if you can't see my screen, you just click the accept button and then your processing power is being used. Cool. Yeah, gents, I would love any questions if you have.
Yeah. So amazing presentation. Thank you. I wasn't aware that Charles and Bradley were advisors. We work fairly closely with. I know Charles from Gem Team and Bradley. Been working with him on a couple different ventures, so that's pretty awesome. I think you might be muted.
There, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Awesome. Yeah, Charles actually joined us a long time. It's been about 2.5 years he's been with us. Bradley joined us. I spoke to Brad last year. And he joined us maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. Our crypto advisory team, Charles, Brad, and Johnny, have been instrumental to us. Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Other year.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm not used to airports.
Yeah, no, I think I just actually picked up a pair of Sony 1000. I think we're getting some feedback, Laura.
Yeah.
Okay, we good? No. We'll just go through either mute your either mute your laptop or we'll go through gathers.
Can you guys hear me now?
That's
Yep.
perfect now.
Well, I think Gaurav muted again.
I wonder if they've got two on the go watching the live stream. Maybe they need to mute this live stream.
Yeah, they have the well, Gather Network, I think, was also watching, or maybe there was feedback coming through. So basically, the volume was coming through his laptop and then over there. Are you guys?
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, so if anyone is looking to post questions to Gather, you can do so over on Twitter. I am monitoring the socials at the moment. So the two hashtags that we're pushing out today right now are hashtag TDeFi and hashtag TDeFi Demo Day. So if you want to tag the project, tag Gather Network, that's at Gather_network. And you can tag at TradeDog1. And we'll be able to see your questions. I'm monitoring the socials there, or you can go to the Twitter post that I posted in the YouTube chat, which is from Gather's team as well. Make sure to like and retweet that so we can make sure that any relevant questions that you have for the team are getting answered. I do have a couple questions, and I'm sure David has some too. We'll start off with that. I had mentioned we were talking about use case, and I think there's kind of two different people that are looking at your product. There's the end user, and then there's developers. I think you're more geared towards developers, but can you maybe articulate the specific use cases that your platform would use from those two perspectives?
For sure. Maddie, can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yep. Awesome. So if we talk about use cases, I would say there's two, as you said, two distinct use cases. So one of them being targeted more towards websites and applications. So webmasters, publishers, online newspapers, streaming platforms, right? So your web admins, if you will, or people who are responsible for that kind of decision making. And that's one use case or one target audience, if you will. And if we look at the second target audience, we're talking about purely enterprise and developers, right? So I'll talk about both use cases. So one is cloud computing is extremely expensive. It's one of the most, it's the highest cost, or if not, sorry, there's a little bit of feedback, getting a little confused.
Yeah. We need to actually shift the input to the feed, to the Gaurav Dubey camera. Operator, if you may please do that.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can hear you fine our side. I don't know if the technical issues are your.
Yeah. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's not.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so coming back to it, two different use cases for businesses and enterprises and developers, right? So one of the largest costs for any.
Mute your microphone. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I can.
Yeah, we're just getting double feed.
Okay,
that's okay.
That's perfect now, right now. So yeah, there's for enterprises and developers, right? One of the largest costs for any kind of tech-related startup, any kind of business in today's world, a large cost for them will be cloud operations, right? So this the decentralized cloud is geared towards them for multiple advantages. One of the largest USPs being because just the pure cost aspect, right? For large businesses, be it Fortune 500 or your mom and pop shop or grandma's cookie website, if you will, right? Wherever she's hosting it, for them, it's just a pure cost aspect. Am I saving $100? Am I saving $50? Am I saving $1,000? Whatever it may be, right? From that aspect. Then you have, for example, I'll cite the recent partnership with Laminar. They provide the infrastructure for streaming, for anyone to become their own streaming provider, right? You can come sign up with them. There's no OpEx involved. It's pay as you go type of model. However, they do rely on centralized nodes, if you will, AWS, GCP. They're basically a giant CDN. Now, that does come with its own drawbacks. For example, if you saw recently in, I believe, the US East Zone, AWS had a failure, and even Infura had downtime because there's so many nodes on AWS itself. So what Laminar is doing is they're offering their customers that come up and want to become their own streaming platform, want to, content creators who don't want to rely on YouTube, for example, they're offering Gather as another way for monetize their free users, people who aren't going to pay, let's say $5, $10, $15 to view content, right? And on the other side of that model, they're going to be using Gather for the decentralized cloud, essentially, switch to us, because as a backup to using centralized services. And then the last use case which I spoke about is like, let's say we have large enterprises, right? You want ready infrastructure to come and deploy a blockchain for whatever their specific need may be, right? So we allow people to come and fork our child chains. So what is a child chain? It's basically one child chain being merge mined with the parent chain using proof of work, right? And whatever the specific specifications may be. So let's say it's a private permission blockchain. Let's say it's a public token-based blockchain. So for example, you would have a large company like, I'm just taking a random example, Ford, right? They need a blockchain for supply chain traceability purposes, right? But they want it private. They can come and fork our child chain, and they can modify it to their needs without having to do the initial R&D, which is permissioned and private. And then other people, let's say, who are crypto developers who want a token and they want proof of work, don't want to deal with some of the newer issues that come out with proof of stake, which I don't want to go into because ETH2 is out there, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who get a little pissed off if I mention it, but they want proof of work based consensus or anti-Sybil. They can come deploy on Gather itself, or either fork a child chain that has a token and the infrastructure built in, and just a couple clicks.
Mm-hmm. So Gather is on Ethereum currently, correct?
Yes, sir. It's currently in ERC20.
Gotcha, but it's going to port over to its own chain.
Yes, sir.
So how do you plan on bridging people over? You think the POW angle is going to be exciting? I mean, it will be. People love to mine, but
yeah, I think that's an audience that's just never going to die ever. No matter how far we go in blockchain, crypto, whatever it may be, you have your GPU diehard miners, right? I don't think that's going to be a problem specifically because for let's say people are just holding the tokens, it's just a it's a token bridge at the end of the day, or how we actually how we kind of designed the swap. It could just be an airdrop. That's to be seen. I think it's still sharing screen.
Yeah, we're there. Yeah. We're live there.
I think I kind of had this question when you said it. You said you're kind of looking to be the next marketing arm for crypto in one of your verticals. It seems, I think if I have to think of a cryptocurrency, that the last time I heard them brand themselves like that would be Bat Token. They're a little bit more for content creators, but they also have a marketing aspect to them. They've been around for a very long time. They have acquired market share, fervent community. How do you view yourself as a marketing juggernaut in terms of token utility?
I think that question, I kind of want to split it up, if that's cool, Maddie.
Yeah, that's fine.
One aspect. So the thing is, if you look at the use case where it's about Gather providing an alternative form of monetization for websites and applications, the majority of that audience is not crypto based. So when they come and use Gather, when they monetize with Gather, and they want to pay out, they want to receive their revenue, their money, right? They're going to be exposed to cryptocurrency for the first time ever in their lives, be it Bitcoin, be it Gather, be it whatever the tokens we've added as a payout method. For example, we have Crimea, we have DIA, Ferrum, Decenter, and Ethereum would be there as well. That would be their first ever experience. So as a marketing arm for crypto itself, I think that's extremely powerful. Taking a use case that's from cryptocurrency and exposing it to the larger real world, if you would, out of our own echo chamber, is very powerful, right? Especially if you're doing it in a way, because I think this is very important, what I'm about to say, is that you don't expose them to cryptocurrency directly. You just the narrative needs to be on focus on the problem, which is an alternative form of monetization. And then let them experience the cryptocurrency payouts on their own, right? Let them have their first ever experience. I think that friction needs to be removed. And I believe the way we're going about it will solve that. And coming to the other part of your question, Maddie, could you repeat it? Sorry.
I think maybe it was in referring to overcoming market shareholders like BAT and others.
For sure. I think answering that question, it's more about initial target audiences. So we go for low-lying fruits in terms of the primary use case of alternative form of monetization. We look at India, we look at Africa, we look at China, because the market share of that, while is quite big compared to the traditional advertising world, which is about $300 billion or $312 billion per year, it's a small share of the large chunk of the pie, right? So going after these markets such as Africa, India, and China, we're not going to hit them head on yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, yeah. So it's a small chunk of the bigger pie, but it seems that at least until now, and I think we'll see that change over the next 4-year cycle, that when it comes to products and dApps and stuff like that, blockchain has had a difficult time breaking through to mainstream adoption in the business world. We see integration happening, but a lot of these startups have a difficult hurdle to overcome. Where do you see yourself making that breakthrough where others have failed?
100%. The biggest, the fastest route of adoption is the alternative form of monetization, hands down. Like, just giving you, numbers talk. We spent $2,740 roughly to acquire 250 odd websites or something. Mm-hmm. I mean, that customer acquisition cost is extremely low, and these are very large sessions as well. Not counting, people we go meet one-to-one, etc. I feel that's the easiest road for adoption going forward, 100%.
Yeah, I think I saw.
Because it's a very, very. Sorry, go on, Matty. My bad.
No, I was gonna say I think I actually was watching some entrepreneurial stuff from Tai Lopez, and he's been very active in terms of acquiring online websites that used to have branding but have now been facing hard times due to the COVID economy, if you want to call it that. And I forget some of the big names. He just actually did a big auction, I think, for a major website, and they're basically rebranding them, lowering their costs. So you're going through an acquisition phase right now. You have 150 websites that you've acquired. Tell me a little bit more about that go-to-market strategy.
For sure. The exact count roughly is about 340 or 50 odd websites that are there signed up with us already. The go-to-market strategy, we need to establish certain distribution centers within Africa, within India and China. So India, we already have a good foot in the ground, if you will. Africa and China is to be established. And then again, most of these, this may be a cliche, but a lot of our customer acquisition strategy is revolving around advertising itself, using display ads, etc. No matter how much I may personally hate them, and the team hates them, and the whole wide world hates them, they do serve a purpose, which is still discovery at the end of the day.
With this, I mean, we'll have to step into the core of the discussion, which is, so you've already raised through the initial token sale. What's the kind of fundraise you're looking at right now? Who are you addressing to in this pitch? What's the fundraise about, just before you leave?
For sure. So we did our initial token sale of 960,000 about 2 months ago. Right now, we're just looking to gain exposure for Gather, let people know, what we are, what we're trying to do, what our vision is about. And then in a couple of months, a little more than a couple of months, we'll be looking to go for a Series A round, because again, this is a very large problem we're going after, and you will need a large war chest. So this is for, hey, if you are a website owner, you want an alternative form of monetization, go to gather.network. If you are a business and you need a cheaper form of cloud computing, go to gather.network. And
Awesome. Yeah, it's definitely awesome to have you on, Reggie. I think we're moving on to the next time slot, but a pleasure to have you in person, live from Dubai.
I think you're going to hang around as well, Reggie, for the session, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, he'll be here for a bit. We'll be here for a bit because the next pitch is virtual. So we'll enjoy it from our screens while you guys take it over.
All right, thanks.
Awesome.
That's really, really helpful. Again, guys, anyone that wants a bit more information on Gather, there's some information and links to them on social media. And that was really informative. And I think for anybody that is an investor or in terms of holding any tokens, should feel pretty confident about the developments that Reggie was discussing there. So thanks everyone for tuning into that. We're going to move on now to Oro Pockets. They're going to be coming up momentarily, and hopefully hearing more about them.
Awesome.
So hey, should I jump in?
Yeah. Did you plan on sharing screen? Because if so, we'll have our if the Zoom team could give control for sharing screen over to the Oro Pocket team and take down the current. So this is Oro Pocket. You can check out their website, which is oropocket.com, and their different socials. As always, if you're looking to submit questions for the live stream for the AMA portion, then I would suggest that you go over to Twitter and tag the Oro Pocket team over on Twitter, also with the tag hashtag TDeFi, hashtag TDeFi demo day. Oro Pocket's tag is at Oro Pocket. That's ORO Pocket. Are you able to see the share screen option yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Here we go. Hey, Mohit, how are you doing?
All well. How are you, David?
Yeah, very well, thanks. How's things over? Are you in India at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, great. How's things over there? I'm just sharing your website address on the on YouTube. So for anybody that wants to know a little bit more about the project, the team, you can go straight from that link.
Thank you so
Sorry.
much. I really appreciate that. So here in India, it's almost 8:30 p.m. Life is as usual as it can be during the COVID times, right? Still at the office, trying to get things done. So yeah.
No, absolutely. So do you have a particular pitch or anything specifically prepared, or do you just want to kind of do you have got some stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, well, we'll leave over to you, Mohit, and then maybe we can do some questions and answers after you're done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again, David. So hi, everyone. I'm Mohit Madan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Oro Pocket. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. It's truly an honor to be here. I'd like to talk about the current traditional markets around the globe. So about $300 trillion of assets are traded every year. And we believe that in the next 10 years, about 5% of it is going to adopt blockchain in one form or the other because of the salient features that blockchain brings in. And we basically want to be the enablers to do that. Right now, the problem with the DeFi space is that institutional funds and large investors are not able to participate in it for several reasons. Like there are only a limited number of asset classes. There is no clarity when it comes to compliance, right? So like large hedge funds or institutions aren't going to put up like $10 million when they don't even have any clarity on how or when they can get that money out. There's huge price slippage. So if these people like put in an order for a couple of $100,000, they know that the needle is going to move wildly. There are not a lot of financial instruments or tools available. Everything is scattered, and basically operating is a challenge in itself. There's a learning curve there. So we are basically trying to solve these problems for these institutional investors in two ways. First, we are tokenizing real world assets such as gold, silver, stock, exchange traded funds. We're also looking at NFTs such as real estate, energy, art, commemorative coins, and things like that. And then basically building financial services on top of it, such as loan, yield, card, asset-backed card, and things like that. So basically, this is what the architecture of Open DeFi currently looks like. We take these real-world assets, we tokenize them and add them to the network, and then we basically start building financial services on top of it. So let's take this network apart. Let's just understand how or what works. So the most important part of our network is the tokenization bit. So in order for us to tokenize any real world asset, we basically need three parties. We need an insurer to make sure that the underlying asset is 100% protected. We need a custodian so that the tokens can actually represent the rights to that asset, right? It's only then that we can attract institutional investors to be a part of this network. And then we need an auditor to make sure everything is running smoothly and them regularly publishing their reports. So once we have these three parties, we simply tokenize the assets. In our proof of concept, we have been able to tokenize gold and silver. Once the assets are tokenized, we start building financial services on top of it. So let's look at some of the financial services that we're currently building. So the first is the easiest one, exchange. But instead of order books here, you're actually exchanging with the smart contract itself. There are no counterparties. So The advantage of this is even if you're buying for 1 cent or you're buying for $1 million, there is no price slippage, right? So institutional investors can actually put up big orders without having to worry about the needle moving widely. And because there are no other counterparties, essentially it's a risk-free trade. You don't really have to deposit your funds to any exchange per se. You can do it via a non-custodial wallet. So the way that this works is you send it USDC and it will revert back the equal value in whatever tokens that you're currently willing to buy. So let's assume that this smart contract represents gold. So if you were to send it like 10,000 USDC, you'll get $10,000 worth of gold. And every time these transaction happens, a small fee of 10 to 100 bips gets deposited in the fee pool, which is going to become really important in the coming slides. By the way, this transaction works the other way around as well. So in case you want to liquidate your position or you want to sell gold, you can simply send it back to the smart contract and immediately get the USDC out at the current rate. So for getting the price of the underlying assets we are currently tying up with Chainlink, with Band, with Razor, and we are operating on various networks. So that's basically the first feature of it. Now let's assume, say David here got like $10,000 USDC and he's just purchased gold worth $10,000. Essentially, there are three things that he can do with that gold. First is he can just keep it to himself or send it to a friend. Second is he can instantly post that gold as collateral and get up to 70% of it in USDC in absolute real time in a seamless manner at a very low interest rate of 2 to 5% per annum. Right? So let's assume that he had $10,000 of gold. He'll get about 7,000 USDC at like a low interest rate of like 2 to 5%, right? So all he needs to do is take that $7,000 to Bank of Hodlers, Abra, or any of these platforms that give you an upward yield of 10 to 12%, so that he can pay back his loan while still making money on top of it. All this time, his bets are completely hedged because he's still holding gold, right? So that's one easy way for hedge funds to participate in this network, one way for these institutions to come on board. That's basically the second thing that you could do with your gold. The third thing is, if you don't want to take a loan, you can simply post your gold as, you can basically stake it on the network and earn a yield on top of it. In this, there is no market exposure to the gold. So even if the price of gold go up or down, you're still making money. Essentially, you're generating a rental or yield on an otherwise dead asset, right? This is critically important because economics teaches us that capital flows wherever it gets the best return at the lowest risk. And by eliminating the market exposure and by offering a yield on top of these underlying asset-backed tokens, essentially we are enabling users to generate more or passive income source per se, right? So the next feature on our network is basically the cross-chain functionality. So Ethereum is currently batshit crazy when it comes to transaction fee, right? And then we have great chains like Matic, Tezos, Algo, and so on, right? But they don't have many users on those chains because they don't have a lot of assets. And it's a chicken and egg problem, right? So we're trying to solve that problem by enabling instant movement of assets across chains in a completely seamless and decentralized manner. So in this example, USDC is currently being moved from Ethereum to Matic chain, again, in a completely decentralized, seamless manner in real time, right? So this basically allows us to get best of the worlds. Like we are able to process transactions quicker and at a low cost and do microtransactions with Matic. We are able to do better on-chain governance with Tezos and so on and so forth. So talking about the competition, so of course, because the total addressable market is so huge, we have competitors. The nearest competitor that we have is synthetics. Now, the problem with synthetics is because they are not backed by real world assets, essentially because they're only a representation in price, whenever the price of the underlying asset goes up, essentially their entire network goes in debt, which is distributed to all the network participants, which makes it a negative sum game. Whereas on our platform, on OpenDeFi, whatever asset you're holding, you'll be able to generate a yield on top of it, which makes it a positive sum game. Apart from this, fungibility actually exists. So you can actually convert your gold tokens into physical gold itself, right? We work on distributed governance. Everything is 100% insured. And basically it has like inbuilt hedging functionality and things like that. Now, the big question, a lot of the viewers here must be traditional investors trading in stock markets. So why should they even consider trading on OpenDeFi? Why not just trade on NASDAQ or London Stock Exchange or any of these exchanges? See, there are several reasons. First is you are able to generate a rental or a yield on top of your assets. So let's say if you were holding Apple stocks, nobody's paying you to hold those Apple stocks. Whereas on this platform, you're actually getting a yield without any market exposure. Second is you don't really have to worry about a bad news coming in on Friday and how it's going to affect your position on Monday, because this works 24/7. It's round the clock. It's inclusive. Third is you really don't have to worry about the price slippage at all. You place it on order for $1, you place an order for $1 million, you're going to be quoted the exact same price, right? Which you won't find in your traditional markets. Everything is completely transparent, microtransactions enabled, and we have very low fees. So talking about the roadmap, we're already done with our seed funding. We're already done with our proof of concept with gold and silver, and the mobile apps are live on both Android as well as iOS. In Q4, basically in this quarter, we've concluded our token sale. We've done our token generation event. Thank God it went well. We are now working on releasing the alpha version of our testnet. And once we have the bugs figured out there, we'll be sending it for review, basically to an audit firm. Q1 and Q2 are purely focused on adding more asset classes and building more financial services on top of it. So talking about the team, this slide is a couple of days old. We have now added, in fact, 3 more members. So Tarusha and I have known each other since, I don't know, we were 7 years old. We've been working together for the last 8-9 years. This is our 3rd startup together. I take care of the technology side of the business, and Tarusha manages everything else, operations and everything. Our team is purely distributed across the globe. It's a very close-knit team. So we have team members in India, Egypt, South Vietnam, Ukraine, Hungary, US, and I'm Nigeria. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing out on a couple of countries here, but wherever we find good people to work with, we simply onboard them. So talking about the underlying token itself, it's a governance token. We did a raise of about $1 million just a couple of months back, and we were able to onboard some of the best investors from India, Valley, Europe. So we have like Moonrock Capital. Somebody was talking about Charles here. So Charles is also a part of this. From Raystone Capital, we have Lotus Capital, of course, O1X, TDeFi, TRG Capital. TRG Capital is everywhere. So all of these great ones. We basically did our TGE on the 13th of November and had about 15 million in volume on day 1. We're currently trading at about 12-13x. And just this week, we'll be listing on our first centralized exchange. It's a tier 1 exchange. So the entire idea of Oro is it's a breathable economy. It contracts at one end and expands at the other, thereby making sure that it's less prone to any pumps and dumps and actually can be scaled to a longer period than just a bull or a bear run. So that's pretty much about it. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic news about the tier 1 exchange as well this week. Breaking news here on the TDeFi Summit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thanks for the kind of very comprehensive pitch there. I think there's probably a lot of questions to be kind of followed up with on that. Maybe I'll start with a few myself. So one of the things that I found particularly interesting in this project, and for full disclosure, I was an investor myself too, was the fact that there's some real world utility. Do you think that one of the reasons why you have had so much success in terms of performance is because the market is now kind of more ready for that kind of transition to finding real world utility within this space?
So I think there are 3 components to it. The first is absolutely. So we did get lucky when it comes to time and execution, right? We entered this space when the people were ready. They were understanding how these assets work. They were looking at assets beyond Bitcoin. Second is that it's not just real world assets that we are trying to bring to the platform. So we'll have wrapped assets as well. But we wanted to start with the lowest hanging fruit, right? And that in India has always been gold. So if you speak to anybody regarding investments, the first thing they're going to talk about is gold. And we wanted to see whether we'll be able to get response from the audience or not with just the basic platform. So because we were creating an MVP, we wanted to get done something that can be quick, that can be efficient and be measurable, right? The third thing is the great support that we received from the community and the feedback, continuous feedback. I think all those three things, yes, do point to the fact that this was a good time to execute it, and the market was accepting of it. And thank God for that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So maybe I appreciate the kind of the overview, and it was really helpful. Maybe just talk on a really practical level. Let's say somebody had, as you say, they're currently holding physical gold, and as you say, physical gold really has always been traditionally being seen as like a store of value against, you know, deflation, or you know, kind of the you know, worst of days, so to speak. And I know India is a particularly big market for gold, and I think that's been a long historical thing. But even outside, in more Western cultures, you know, having gold and things like that, you know, from a fund management background myself, you know, we used to always encourage to have a percentage of the portfolio in some kind of physical asset, for kind of like a more of a securitized structure. So how would that work? Let's say you're an individual, doesn't know too much about cryptocurrency or blockchain right now. They've just come across yourself, looking to get involved in the cryptocurrency. Let's say they've got you know, $10,000 for argument's sake, sat somewhere in a gold vault or a bank. You know, how would you, what's the process in terms of
Let's say you're an individual.
So that's really a great question. See, access has really been very important to us, and along with it, the user experience. So we've tried to make the entire thing as accessible as possible. So we are available on web, on Android, on iOS. All the person needs to do is simply download our application, which is called Oro Pocket, and they can just purchase gold, silver, and soon other assets as well, using just a click of their button. They can pay via SEPA, via credit card, debit card, and other payment methods as well. And soon they'll be able to, with a click of a button, stake it on the app itself and earn a passive income source, or earn basically a yield on top of it. All the features would be accessible right at their phone. See, the idea is for the end user to be a bank within themselves, right? To have complete control over their finances.
Sounds exciting. And where is that gold actually physically? Is it physically held somewhere that you have custody over? How does it work?
Yeah, so currently we have 3 vaults, one in UK, one in Switzerland, and one in Singapore. Our India vault would be starting soon as well. So the idea here is the more number of vaults enable us to basically be fungible, enable us to ensure delivery of the physical assets itself. So if somebody was more comfortable in exchanging their tokens for the physical gold, they'll be able to do that after paying, of course, the minting cost.
Gotcha. Okay, that's super exciting. Well, we are a little bit behind schedule. I apologize. I know we've had you hanging on as well, Mohit. So appreciate you you being patient and hanging in there. I just want to kind of just throw out to Matt whether you have any other questions.
Yeah, I do. But are you going to be hanging around, Mohit? I think we have an hour after the next 2 pitches, or half an hour or something like that for our presenters to maybe have like a panel. Do you have to go somewhere, or are you on a time constraint?
Oh, no, sure, I'll be here.
Okay, yeah. So then I'll reserve maybe some of the questions for that, because our next pitch is coming up, and I think we're running about 5 minutes behind schedule.
All right,
yeah,
sure.
we'd love you to be involved actually. So when we do these pitches, perhaps as Matt said, we'll have a panel and we can talk about those pitches, and we'd certainly appreciate your input. As you say, you've got a lot of experience, so if you can hang around, that'd be great.
Absolutely, it'll be my honor.
All right, brilliant. Thank you again, Mohit. Again, guys, just before you leave, there's information on the chat in our YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell so you can get updates. Right, back to the team.
And yeah, and that project was Oro Pocket. That's oropocket.com, oropocket.com. You can also check them out on Twitter at Oro Pocket, ORO Pocket. Our next pitch is actually going to be a TDeFi incubation pitch. So the winner of the pitch will, or several winners perhaps, could be accepted for the TDeFi incubator and accelerator. We've also had soft pledges from a couple of different value investors that are looking to put investment into the winner of the pitch day. So this will be our first pitch coming Inblocks Me. So I'm pretty excited for this. I think we have Apoorv with us.
Yep. Hi.
Hi, how are you? Sorry for the delay.
Good. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Perfect.
Right. Where are you coming from? Where are you based? Apoorv?
So we are currently based in New Delhi, India.
Oh, wow. Great, great. Yeah, so we haven't, I think the way this has been structured, yourselves, anyone that's applied has gone through kind of a process of just getting shortlisted. And we've deliberately not been told too much about your project at all so that we can all be kind of surprised and have kind of the same experience. So yeah, over to you, and let's see what you have to say. That'd be great.
Yeah, thanks, David. So good evening, everyone. So I'm not allowed to share my screen. Can I get that permission?
Yeah, could the Zoom team please, when projects are coming in, please allow them to have the access to share screen right out the gate. And while we wait for that, though, I do think it's pretty amazing. You know, in 2017, 2018, India had the Supreme Court ruling that kind of like put a pause on crypto. But we're seeing so many amazing projects since that ruling was lifted come out of India, and a massive growth in the ecosystem spike there. You know, projects like Uniland, like Matic, like I believe Oro Pocket's also from that region. Now yourself, maybe you could just give us a little bit on, you know, how things are going in India and the crypto scene, and the changes that you've seen over the last few years before we get into the presentation.
Yeah, definitely. So in the last couple of years, I mean, initially when there was a blanket ban by RBI on cryptocurrencies in India, we saw a little downside. A lot of exchanges were leaving out of India, and the crypto market was not that stable. But if you look at today, there are really amazing projects coming out of India. You can see Oro Pocket is just pitched right now. Matic is out there. There's a late scaling solution built on Ethereum. There's great projects coming out of India. And that is just because the innovation quotient is really high. It was just that the regulatory aspect was not clear. And as with time, the market is stabilizing and people are becoming more aware about what is happening and how exactly things can be done. It's becoming more clearer over here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
So
yeah,
so
I guess we'll follow up with that after the presentation. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
yeah, you're good to go, buddy.
Yeah, perfect. So I'm Apoorv Shankar, CTO of Inblocks Me, and Inblocks Me is all about building secure and seamless Web3 experiences. So I'll tell you more about exactly how we are doing that, how we are creating more secure and seamless Web3 experiences. Let's dive deeper in the product. So what we are trying to do is making the future of blockchain accessible. And how we are doing that is by enabling secure and seamless Web3 experiences using keyless transactions and a built-in digital assets vault. So if you look at the blockchain applications right now, they're not actually accessible by the normal people. If they are not able to understand the technical jargons which they're bombarded with at the start of using a decentralized application, they won't be able to use it, and they won't be able to understand the value additions which the decentralized application is providing. So we are trying to fix that problem. So what is the origination of that problem? So if you look at it, there are cumulatively approximately 3,000 dApps which are active on Ethereum currently. The stats are taken out of State of dApps. And on an average, there are 90,000 approximately daily active users, which amounts up to be 30 daily active users per dApp on an average. Obviously, there are a few dApps which are having the most share of the users. But if you compare this market with the other application markets like iOS or Android, it's really less. And the reason is the experience. So the barriers which the users are facing, the first is experience, that the user experience is still dependent a lot on the protocol layer. If I'm trying to make a transaction, if I'm trying to use a dApp, what I have to do is create a wallet, sign transactions using my private key, think about my key security, and all the aspects which come with it. Then the second thing, because of the experience problem, there is lack of adoption. And also the use cases which are being built by these dApps are not able to cater to the value additions to the users. And if you look at the traditional application side of things, there is void between the rest of the internet and the dApps which are being out there, because there is no overlap, or there is nothing which can overlap both the things out there. So let's understand a user onboarding flow for a dApp. So when a user who's a no coiner reaches onto a dApp and wants to access the dApp, for example, Compound, the first thing they have to do is get a wallet. They might just search out that how to get a Ethereum wallet, and they might reach to MyEther wallet, Trust wallet, MetaMask, anything, and they will get a wallet. And then the second step is to get some crypto. So either they go to some centralized exchange or some P2P crypto website where they can buy crypto from. And then they bring that crypto to their wallet they're going to use the dApp with. And then the third thing is they have to sign transactions then. They can sign transactions using MetaMask if they are that tech savvy, or they can use something called like POTUS or Fortmatic, which becomes a wallet provider for them. And again, they have to transfer the crypto from their wallet in which they got crypto to the wallet on POTUS or Fortmatic. And then from the dApp's perspective, if they want to ease up the user's pain of using the dApp can make the experience gasless by enabling back on your OpenZeppelin. So there are multiple integrations over here. The problems being faced from the user side is the user is hopping from one screen to other while they're trying to use a dApp initially. And there are complex operations involved, and that leads to a drop in engagement for the user. And when the user is acquiring crypto on some centralized exchange and transferring the crypto to the wallet they are using the dApp with, they're losing money because of transaction fees over there. From the dApp's perspective, it increases the cost of user acquisition. When the users are being funneled from the landing page of the dApp to the application page, and the user finally starting to use the dApp, there's the users get dropped in between, and that increases the cost of acquisition over there. And obviously there is a less control over the user behavior over there. So when the users are trying to use the dApp cannot control the user behavior because the user is not inside the dApp ecosystem. They cannot exactly understand what the user is trying to do with the dApp, and they cannot understand the user flow. So what we have done, we have created one single SDK which can solve every single point inside the user onboarding process to a dApp. So the first thing is getting a wallet. We have created a gasless naming infrastructure on Ethereum, which is called Inblocks ID, which wraps the Ethereum address with a name, with a human readable name. You can take up any name you want, and that gets stored on the Ethereum network itself. And using the SDK, anyone can resolve the name or can register a new name over there. Second thing is integrated on-ramp, off-ramp. So we have integrated on-ramp, off-ramp inside the dashboard itself, so anyone can buy cryptocurrencies while they're using a dApp. And then the third thing is keyless SDK. So keyless SDK basically allows the user to sign transaction by using a widget when they are inside a dApp. So you'll find a button or login via Inblocks, the same as you find POTUS or Fortmatic. And while you're inside the dApp, you can buy cryptocurrencies using the widget itself and not going on to some other screen or going to some other exchange to buy the cryptocurrency over there. And then it also provides gasless mechanisms over there. So the developers can enable gasless, and it makes all the transaction gasless for the user, and the dApp can pay the fees for the user. And it also comes with a built-in Web3 provider. So all the transactions can be relayed using the same package to the Ethereum blockchain. So one package can solve each and every problem for the developer to onboard a user, and for the user, it's just one click and everything is getting done. And the user can explore inside the widget itself and does not have to go out of the ecosystem. So if you look at the features, what we have built in 2020 is first thing is login via Inblocks that allows a user to log in into a dApp using their Ethereum wallet, which is wrapped inside the naming infrastructure called Inblocks ID, the entity wallets. Then keyless transactions, the SDK, which allows the user to sign transactions. The private keys are totally hybrid. They can be stored on the user's device itself, the mobile phone, or they can be stored in a vault on the cloud, depending on the user's choice, whatever the user wants. If the keys are stored on the cloud, it is the user can sign the transaction with a password. If the keys are stored on the user's mobile phone, the transactions can be signed by using biometrics of the user. And then on-ramp, off-ramp comes inside it. And then token swaps are also there. So for example, if you're using Decentraland and you don't have Mana tokens, you have ETH, you can directly swap from ETH to Mana inside the widget itself. You don't have to go out and go to Uniswap or Kyber. We have integrated Kyber inside it itself. So that is the current feature list which we are providing currently. And in 2021, we are looking at enabling private transactions for the user, building a smart wallet. So the entire identity wallet also gets converted to a smart wallet. So the user can directly make, have multi-sig wallet and directly can make transactions to other contract accounts. And then DeFi access, so that users can have direct access to the decentralized finance markets from here itself. So that is how the application looks like. So I will make you go through each of the features one by one. So identity wallets, it wraps up your Ethereum address into one human redeemable name. And these are completely free. As I said, it's completely gasless and completely open source. So you can go out to our GitHub and check out the entire smart contract code and the SDK code, and it's completely open source. Now, the second thing is keyless transaction. So you can see there's a demo transaction going on that Uniswap is trying to log in the user inside the Uniswap application on the desktop. So when the user is trying to log in on the desktop, the user clicks on sign in via Inblocks and enters the Inblocks ID. There's a notification received by the user on the mobile application, and the user can select if they want to use the native wallet, the Inblocks ID wallet, or some other wallet. And the user, when they clicks login, it asks for the biometric and logs the user in. Then it's one-click buy and sell crypto inside the mobile application itself. We are enabling users to buy cryptocurrencies inside. So we are active in 43 plus countries, and we are providing bank transfers, debit cards, SEPA transfers, and even UPI in India. And then comes one-click swaps. So again, token swaps on Ethereum blockchain currently. So users can swap from one token to other inside the application itself, and also while using a dApp inside the widget itself. And lastly, while the user is having a identity wallet, while the user is having a place where the user can store their assets and their keys are secure either on the device or on the cloud, obviously they want an interface where they can manage the entire digital assets from there. So that is the smart asset management dashboard, from where the user can see all the transactions which are happening on their Ethereum wallet, also on Bitcoin wallet, and they can see their entire portfolio in other tokens, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and it's totally free for all to use. This is entirely free, and it's available globally. Now, talking about the developer side of things, that was the consumer side of things where the user is using it, the application. But when I talk about the developers, when they're trying to integrate the login via Inblocks functionality, it is a simple SDK, can be integrated with just 2 lines of code. And it enables signing of transactions, easy user onboarding, and gasless transactions at once. And it is offered through RESTful APIs, JavaScript-based SDKs currently, and entire thing is built on Web3.js, so it's really easy for anyone who is already building on Ethereum to integrate with. Now, we are not just focused on user experience; we are also focused on developer experience. So we have created a state-of-art dashboard for the developer, from where they can create their dApp, generate API keys for the Web3 transactions. And they can monitor the user behavior inside the dApp, which are login via Inblocks, and they can see the entire analytics over there. Now, talking about the market, we obviously, the number of Ethereum users are currently active Ethereum users is 4.5 million. That is a serviceable optimal market, because we are totally built on Ethereum right now. And the number of active cryptocurrencies users on a daily basis is 9 million users. So that is the number of users which we can go to, which can have our wallet. And obviously the number of users which are internet users which are out there, the goal is to get them on board on cryptocurrencies, because 10 years down the line, I see everyone on this planet having a cryptocurrency wallet inside their mobile app, mobile phone, because it will be a need for them. Now, in the future, when I was talking about DeFi access, what we are planning to integrate is direct saving and investing through the Inblocks ID wallet, then borrowing and lending directly from the Inblocks ID wallet, and going into the derivatives market directly. So we are not planning to build these protocols, but obviously integrating the already existing protocols inside the current application. So talking about the goals and timelines, so the idea was the inception was done in 2019, quarter 2, quarter 3, and we were trying to figure out the right kind of market and right kind of product which we can go out. And then in quarter 4, we started venturing out into blockchain tools. In 2020 quarter 1, the entire focus was shifted on building blockchain tools and development towards shipping the feature. And in quarter two, we built the set of features, which is the accessibility, that is the on-ramp, off-ramp, token swaps, and keyless transactions, and the identity bit of it. And then in quarter three, we tested the entire thing, and we have already tested it with a bunch of users, but currently we are in the process of getting our beta launched, and we are looking at acquiring more users over it. And 2021 is totally meant for the DeFi bit. We are first solving the user experience problem. Once that is solved, once we have a minimal amount of users who can find value by using our product, then we can venture out into further services from there. So obviously, this is a very crowded market. There are a lot of players inside in the game. So Taurus is there, IM Token is there, MetaMask, obviously, Potis, Argent, MyCrypto, and a lot of other products also. But what differentiates us is that we are not looking at providing a few features to the user, but what we are focusing on is solving the experience problem, that the user experience when the user is trying to use any of the decentralized application which is integrated with Inblocks becomes really easy, as if the user is just using Gmail or any of the traditional applications which are built out there with the same level of security which MetaMask or Potis provides. Now we are building with the best in the industry. So Transact and Kyber are our partners for on-ramp, off-ramp, and token swaps. It's totally built on Ethereum. And we have a grant from IBM Cloud for a year of $120,000 for all the cloud services, which is helping us build the entire thing. So the team, we have Abhimanyu Kashyap, Shikha is there, Megha Ansal is there, and I'm there. And we are trying to build this together. And what we are looking at is business and management consulting. We are looking at feedback and guidance on the technology which we have built so far and what is in the pipeline we are going to build. And access to investors, obviously, because we are actively looking for fundraise currently, and strategic partnerships, because this entire thing is built on the notion of getting dApps integrated. And that is what we are looking at currently. So, thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a great presentation. I wasn't even aware that that you had some big names like Kyber and IBM on board. And you said you had a $20,000 grant from IBM?
$120,000.
$120,000. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty serious.
Thank you.
I'm going to take some questions first before I pass it over to David. We have some questions coming in from Twitter. We're also, I know some other people were asking some questions. We're going to have, after our next presenter after this, we're going to have about a 30-minute period where we're going to have our people live from Dubai, and Oro Pocket will be back on, and hopefully you guys can also join us. Just everyone hanging out for 30 minutes. So I will be addressing some of the questions that have been posted on Twitter. If you haven't done so yet, you can tag the specific project and Trade Dog. So Inblocks Me is at Inblocks Me. That's BLOX. So INBLOX Me, and then at Trade Dog 1 as well. And make sure to use the hashtags, hashtag TDeFi, hashtag TDeFi Pitch Day, so that we can get your questions up. I'm looking through the Twitter feeds right now just to curate some of them. So one of the questions that we got here, which was more of an add-on question, but someone wanted to know, will there be a feature for fiat in crypto on-ramp solutions with your application? So I guess right now, especially in the US, Coinbase is the primary on-ramp for people who want to use their Visa card or their debit account to inject some money into the crypto ecosystem. It seems to be a major pain point. We see PayPal coming on board, but you can't withdraw the crypto. So we need better solutions than just the centralized partners of the world. Do you plan to have features that will help to push that use case forward?
Yeah, so we already have Transact integrated over there for on-ramps from fiat. And that is already active in US, also in Europe, and in India. So in India, there is something called UPI, which is basically a QR-based interface to Transact. So we are trying to make it as easy for the user as it can be to onboard onto crypto from fiat.
Awesome. Someone asked about security of the platform. You guys are non-custodial, correct?
Yeah, totally non-custodial.
How do you do that from a mobile perspective?
So if you, the way we are storing the keys on the cloud, so it's completely a vault-based mechanism. So everything gets encrypted on the user's end itself. The client encrypts everything. The encryption keys and everything is on the client side, and whatever we are storing on the cloud by the user's consent is totally encrypted. And it's totally flexible for the user. The user can totally decide if the user wants to store the keys on the cloud in a vault, or the user wants to store the keys on inside the mobile application, inside the virtually created HSM inside. So it's totally flexible.
Got it.
If they want, they can delete the keys from the cloud and they can get out of the ecosystem.
Understood. And what is your market size and growth opportunity?
So currently we are looking at integrating with 100 apps in the next 6 months. So if you look at the transactional volume, which can come with 100 apps, and that can lead us to a growth of approximately $5 million in revenues in next 6 months.
And the last question from Twitter is, how do you plan to expand your market adoption for the product specifically into that timeline?
So if you look at the dApps which are currently integrating these wallet providers like Portis or Fortmatic, they are just providing the wallet, and if you want to do more with the wallet provider, you have to go inside the Portis's interface or inside the Fortmatic's interface and completely getting out of the dApp interface. So the problem we are trying to solve over is the experience piece. So if the user is able to find the simplicity that the user is able to get the crypto at the same place and the user is able to swap the tokens at the time they're making a transaction on the dApp, I think that is enough of a value addition to get the users on board.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I think our next pitch is Font, but they need a few more minutes. So I'm going to pass it out to David here, or maybe Gaurav in Dubai.
Can you hear us?
What's that?
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Softly, yeah.
Okay. I think Reggie had some questions.
Yeah, let's pass it out to Reggie on questions then. Maybe you could bring the mic a little closer to your face.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. First off, great pitch, man.
Thanks.
Amazing product that you built here. I think, part of my question was answered about what Matt asked about the custody aspect. I think that was the first thing that, started ringing off in my head is because it seems that you're integrating a lot of different parties. How are you managing custody? And then the second question, which I think you also answered in regards to encryption on the client side, was how are you dealing with user data specifically?
So that I can personally, I know two of these guys, Apurv and Abhimanyu, from a really long time. So these guys have been, in and out of multiple projects, building up community. So that happens to be the strong point. Apurv, I still remember, saw, I guess 4 years ago, building up an enterprise product solution. So he has an extensive on-hand experience building up real blockchain solution for enterprises.
That's awesome.
So that way I have a personal attestation to their skill. And let's see how the product does. By the way, for those, Dave and Matt, it's astounding for me as well, because I'm looking at the pitch for the first time, and I meet these guys, I guess, every month, if not like 15 days, and we've never discussed the product in such a depth. Good work, guys.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely impressed by this presentation. I think before we kick out, one thing that I did want to address, you had a lot of competitors that you had on screen, some legacy or some older products such as MetaMask and MyCrypto, and some newer ones like I think Argent maybe has been around a little bit longer, but Frontier has been a big splash into the space last few months. I know a lot of VCs were backing them, and I think part of the vertical with them was Polkadot related. Maybe you just want to take this opportunity to say how you're different, how you plan on beating them in the market, and maybe part of your roadmap as well.
So the problem which Frontier, the answer lies in the fundamental problem which we both are trying to solve. What the fundamental problem which Frontier is trying to solve is getting the user abreast with the DeFi market specifically. And we are not focused totally on the DeFi market. We are focused on the entire dApp segment. So today it can be the DeFi market, tomorrow it can be something else. And there's no token on Inblocks. So there's no token existing on the Inblocks network, or there's nothing as such. So it's totally based on the wallet aspect and the user accessibility aspect of it.
Awesome. Yeah. Do we know if the next pitch is ready? By the way, I'm not sure if we've gotten the clearance on that.
I think we're waiting, so a couple more questions might be.
Yeah, I think we should touch base on the very basic of the question. But before that, before we establish the basic, I think Reggie here has a great news to share after the pitch. Yeah, there are obviously legal some legal obligations that would stop him to make the narration as it is. But
let's say we saw
news.
Very interesting price action happen. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's been a price action, like a heavy price action, if not too much, on Gather. Although we shouldn't be talking about that in a pitch event, but that is why I, sort of pointed out the base question when we started off. When we were concluding the pitch, and that was, Reggie, what exactly are you looking for with this pitch? And I guess that's an instant gratification to begin with. Lovely. We are already looking at price movements on Oro as well. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, perfect. So
yeah, I mean, if you want, we can start the if we're still waiting for font, we can maybe jump to some of the panel questions that were from Twitter for all the projects. I think Oro Pocket, have they rejoined us yet? I think they're rejoining in a little bit. But I did have some, maybe you want to stop sharing your screen for a second.
Yeah.
Approve. And Gaurav, if you could use whatever microphone has you guys on camera, because I think Atik's microphone's not putting you guys up. But yeah, so let's start with
please shift the mic to my system.
Sure.
Yeah, so I have a couple of questions in reference to for Inblocks. Maybe while we're waiting for the next pitch to come online. So you mentioned you've already had some sort of seed round investment to help you kind of get to this current phase. Where are you in terms of your roadmap, in terms of development cycle, and what's your kind of next stage in terms of fundraising and to get you kind of to the next level? And maybe you can kind of give us a bit of a sort of a 2021 roadmap, and where those different sort of junctures fit in.
So currently, talking about the development cycle, we have built the entire phase 1 set. We are recently rolling out the new user interface for the users. So if you go out on inblocks.me and if you check out the user interface, it's a bit shady, I'll admit that, but you'll find a very nice user interface in 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time, with the mobile application also rolling out. And 2021, we are totally focusing on the money markets, the DeFi market, which is out there, and also improving the security aspect of it. So currently, if one more question, I mean, I was expecting this question about the smart contracts audit and the entire system audit, because that is really important. So currently we are doing an open audit as the system is out for the beta launch. And after the open audit is complete, we'll be going for an institutional audit. And that will be enough for us to, approve the system that is secure.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, well, I was definitely impressed by the presentation. You've already got some really well-known backers behind you, which I think always gives anyone that wants to get involved in terms of supporting a project peace of mind, whether they're going to be a user or just looking to invest initially and then try and see the utility. As Matt says, there's a lot of competition, theoretically speaking, in the market in this sort of space of sort of dApps on mobile devices and things like that. But it does feel like we're kind of evolving this space to having much more focus on utility. So all things being equal, it sounds like you've got some good things in the pipeline. I think we have just been told that our last pitch of this session has unfortunately had to reschedule.
No, I think no. I think they actually joined. We should have two pitches left. One's with Font Community and one's with Thinks Flow. Do we have Ganesh with us from Font Community?
Hello guys, can you able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome. Actually, unfortunately, my co-founder couldn't able to join some technical issue. Let me share my screen.
Sure. Do you have a webcam by chance as well?
I don't have webcam. Actually, in fact, he was the one we planned. He was the one who going to present the whole presentation, but unfortunately, he couldn't able to join. So I don't have a webcam. I can able to talk to you guys with my microphone.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we understand that that sometimes things can be difficult on virtual events. So
exactly.
Are you able to share your screen right now? Do you have that access? Has the team given it to you yet?
I'm getting some error message right here. I'm trying to share my screen. I have my presentation with me.
Yeah, if the Zoom team could please give the access to Ganesh to share his screen, that would be fantastic. There we go.
Okay, excellent. Okay. So we are a font community. So what we trying to do here is we are basically building a NFT based decentralized marketplace for exclusively for fonts. So so here NFTs are fonts. In fact, it is kind of a DeFi enabled and governed by DAO. So as far as the DAO aspect is concerned, it's going to be handled by ERC20 token. So basically, why we are building font community? So right now, if you see the existing ecosystem, like centralized organizations like Invato and Creative Market, they are charging hefty commissions. That is the basic issue. So sometimes they are charging about more than 30, 40, 50, something like that, something percentage of commission. So what we plan to do is we are in process of building the decentralized marketplace exclusively for font creators and buyers. Basically, we want to give them the full value to their contribution and participation. That is what our aim is with respect to font community. And if you ask me about the futures, here basically yes, all other marketplace buying and selling are the one future. And in addition to that, with the help of NFT and decentralization, we are providing options like transferring ownership by using NFT. The one owner, for example, font creator can able to transfer their ownership to other owner. Once the ownership is transferred, further license fees will be transferred to that particular exact person, the current owner. That is the one feature. And if the third one is borrow money, the particular person can able to use the money. He can able to use their asset like fonts, and in that, by using that particular asset, they can able to borrow money from the other protocols. And in fact, in addition to that, issuing the share, it's like basically an ICO. The font creator can able to tokenize his font and issue the share to the community. That is the one feature. And earn interest is something like he can able to lend, he can able to get money from the community for temporary, by transferring the temporary ownership to the person. Third one is font mining, ownership, and no hustle way. All other few features. Let me switch over to the next slide. Okay, what exactly we have done so far? So far, we built the marketplace. Right now, beta version of the marketplace is online, and right now we are in process of building the contracts. Contract parties we are in process of building. We are able to complete it by end of December or maybe first week of January. And so far we onboarded around 74 creators. With that, we have already in 3,500 fonts in our platform. So far we uploaded only 350. If you can able to see the website, we uploaded 350 fonts, but we have already 3,500 fonts in line. So if you see the 30 current verified creators, they have sold over more than 500,000 worth of fonts so far. So we are planning to onboard 200 creators by within next 1 or 2 months. And also we plan to launch our product after we are having over 10,000 fonts. So it will be happen before January, next January. So one of the beautiful part is we have over 60% of conversion rate in terms of font creators. So far we have pitched to 135 font creators. Out of we converted over 70 people. So that is the great conversion rates going on there. So that's it from my end. I guess I have only 15 minutes of time to present, so I leave it to you guys for the question.
Yeah, no worries. I think what time's it right now? 11 o'clock. I mean, we still have a 15-minute window here anyway. I want to get to some questions about your product, and then I'll probably follow up some questions that were coming in from Twitter for Gather and Oro, if Oro has rejoined us. And then I think we have one final pitch by Thinks Flow, which I'll check in with the pitch team. David, why don't you pivot over to some of the questions for them, and I'll check in with the team.
Yeah, sure. So I'm looking at the YouTube. Is there questions coming on on the Twitter, Matt?
Let me check.
I'm not seeing any yet.
I know Rashab is excited about NFT tokens for fonts. He believes that the beauty of decentralization and that the creators get what they deserve, rather than the middleman. Mir had said that, which NFT marketplaces are you planning to initiate with?
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I couldn't able to hear exactly.
Sure. The question is, which NFT marketplaces are you planning to initiate with?
Actually, we are building the marketplace. In fact, font.community is itself a marketplace. So font creator can able to upload the fonts right here, and buyers can able to buy the font. And of course, once they listed as an NFT, it will goes to Rari and OpenSea and the public, NFTs.
Okay. All right, thanks. So, I mean, maybe let's start on a more simple sort of level. Maybe for somebody who's not that familiar with NFTs specifically, could you give like a basic description of what an NFT is and why you feel that this is a kind of a growing market?
Yeah, sure. What we plan to do is, if you see the existing centralized marketplace, they can able to provide only buying and selling options. There is a one side buyers and another side sellers, and centralized platforms like Envato and Creative Market will lies on the center. So if you see a NFT, we are making everything as a decentralized one. By including the NFT part to the font, we can able to create the options like transferring the ownership. For example, if I am the creator of the font, with the existing marketplace, I can able to only sell. With respect to NFT marketplace like font.community, I can able to transfer the entire ownership to other person. Once the ownership is transferred, further license fees, if someone buy the font license like spending $20, that $20 will be transferred to the new owner. These kind of features is not something possible with the existing marketplace. So that is something we are trying to do with font.community and NFT.
I gotcha. There's a question, is there any DeFi features included in your project at all?
Yeah, with respect to DeFi, since we are converting the whole NFT old font into NFT, that NFT can be able to we can able to spend that particular NFT to other protocols, new protocols. So that part is DeFi. That is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Does it make sense? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's think this in terms of a user structure. So somebody, I guess you have a group of kind of either. I mean, do you advertise for people to basically design and provide these NFTs on your site, and then basically sell them on to users? Can people rent these different types of fonts? I guess it's basically some form of a design, right, that people might want to use for a number of different purposes. Can you maybe expand on that?
Yeah, sure. The existing the NFT is not fit for the marketplace. That is the issue, because all the NFT will be open. It's like an image. So even if we upload in IPFS, everything will be open to public. So in order to address that particular issue, what we do is once the font creator uploads his fonts, we encrypt the whole font and upload it to IPFS. So even if someone download that particular file, he can't able to use it unless he verify the buying part with our system. So he need to verify in our platform to get the key. With that key, they can able to decrypt the particular file and get use that particular font.
Okay, perfect. So I guess so I guess in some respects this is it's a platform to help support plagiarism or lack of plagiarism. And I guess if you're an artist of however you want to describe yourself, you can use your platform to basically help secure their art, their work, and then monetize it. Is that correct? And then you take some form of a fee from that?
That is the one interesting feature. Even though it is not our primary feature, that is something like an added feature.
Gotcha.
But again, if the font creator aim is to sell the fonts to maximum user. If that is something possible with the font.community. In addition, if he want to transfer the ownership, if he need immediate money, he can able to transfer the ownership and get money. The crypto community can able to get that font and use the particular font for further monetization. That is features. Yeah.
So can you give us an example of any businesses or artists or really that's currently you're working with, and what that collaboration looks like?
Yeah, actually we are right now we are working with personally I am working with around 4 authors, but right now we already onboarded around 74 users. They plan to upload their fonts. So right now we have around 3,500 fonts. If you can able to see our website, we already uploaded around 350 fonts in our website. It's just a makers.font.community. So I can able to share my screen right here with my.
Please do. And I think we will share the website address too on social media, so anyone looking in now can have a look through and get a much clearer view of the things that you're offering. And how long have you been around as a project?
Right now, we are very much we are in a very initial stage right now. So far, we are working for about 6 months.
Okay, I got you.
Only it's a kind of a 2-member team, myself and Mr. Adler. So I'm not that much into technical. My expertise is in marketing. You can able to see I am stumbling in technical terms, so I'm not that much good at the technical part. So my partner Adler is taking care of all the technical area and development.
Okay. Yeah. So is the Finks flow ready to go, Gaurav?
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
Shooting out to. Yeah, thank you for your presentation. I wanted to know if Finks flow, the last presentation before the break, because we do have to take a break. I know we've been running behind schedule, and we appreciate your presentation font or on font, and I think we'll have to probably in the next session address some of the questions, especially for people like that are sticking around, like Gather and Oro and others, because we have a ton of questions that were being asked on social, and we have to with kind of move along. But is Sphinx Flow in the Zoom call right now?
Hello.
Your mic's
Yeah,
live.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Font, could you maybe stop sharing your screen real quick? So is Sphinx live in Dubai or are they virtual? It says virtual here.
They're virtual, yeah.
Okay, are they in there? Are they in the are they in our Zoom chat? I don't see them.
I think they're ready to
I guess
come
it's
out.
a better question for the Zoom operator, but yeah.
Okay,
So I
it
believe
says
I believe
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I believe we're going to hear from Matt Page, and he's coming in from Singapore on behalf of Sphinx Flow. So
Yeah, if
when
the
he's
Zoom
ready-
operator could let him in and give him share screen access so we can start. I guess real quick while we're waiting for that, just briefly, are you with us, Reggie?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll shoot you some questions real quick. We'll do a lightning round while we wait for Matt to come in. So one person on Twitter asked, how are you going to attract users from other platforms?
I would ask, I mean, you usually generally don't answer a question with a question.
Maybe move the microphone a little closer to your face because it's coming off.
Yeah.
How's that, Maddie?
That's good.
Okay, so I guess it really depends. I'm just going to assume they mean Google AdSense here. So the thing is, if we look at the publishers within Asia, India, China, Africa, what they get paid compared to people in, let's say, US, Canada, North America, Europe, etc., it's pitiful, right? We pay a lot more compared to regions, or sorry, compared to AdSense in those regions. Whereas in North America and other places, we're paying 1.4x more. So from that perspective, it's purely a revenue aspect. If you're just earning more and there's a better user experience, and another added feature is that publishers can share the revenue in the form of cryptocurrency with their users via the loyalty program as well. So better features, a better UX. Your data isn't being sold. It's not intrusive, so it's a no-brainer, and that's shown in our customer acquisition cost as well.
We appreciate that. All right, we're gonna actually take a quick break because we're still waiting for Sphinx Flow here. So in the meantime, just enjoy the break time. I know we've had a lot of projects coming in, so we're gonna end the feed, and we'll be back in probably within the next 2 hours. It's scheduled for 1:30, but there may be an earlier entry, but we'll announce that on social. So we appreciate everyone coming out today. This is day one, session one of a 4-day event at the TDeFi Virtual Summit and live from Dubai. So we'll be touching base soon.
Awesome.
And maybe if the operator could tell me if we're still live, I'll check on YouTube. Looks like we are still live on YouTube. If the Zoom operator could please end the stream, that would be much appreciated.